Above all else, the dwarves revere the stone that surrounds them and the ancestors that preceded them. The dwarves call themselves the children of the stone. The stone, they believe, is their progenitor, which gave rise to the dwarves, shelters them, protects them, and provides them with its bounty, gemstones, metals, and most of all, lyrium. The stone, which they refer to as she, is said to have a will, an influence that guides the dwarves for the better. This they tie to what they call stone sense, an innate sense of direction underground that dwarves quickly lose if they spend too much time on the surface. Some dwarves of the mining caste are said to be particularly attuned, able to find lyrium veins by listening for its song, some claiming to hear the stone itself sing to them. Shapers that record and maintain the records of dwarven history too are said to have remarkable stone sense. As previously noted, dwarves lose this sense if they spend time above ground. Thus, the dwarves have an intense cultural stigma attached to going to the surface. Dwarves that go to the surface lose their place in dwarven society, and those born on the surface are scarcely acknowledged as dwarves at all by traditionalists, at least in theory. In practice, the pragmatism of maintaining ties to relatives among surface merchants tends to win out. Nonetheless, they are considered to have been rejected by the stone. The dwarves believe that they have an active role in protecting and purifying the stone. The gang, waste and unstable rock, must be cut away from the pure stone. The gang may also refer to demons and spirits bound within the stone itself, which must be destroyed to free the stone of corruption. Doing so is in fact one of the ancient duties of the Legion of the Dead. With all that being said, while the dwarves venerate the stone, they do not treat it as a deity in the sense that humans or elves do their gods. They do not worship it with temples or priesthood, and it does not prescribe specific commandments to them. When dwarves die, they are said to return to the stone, lending their strength to it, and so it is very important to the dwarves that they be buried in solid stone, and ritual words said over their resting place. Nobility are entombed in ornate crypts, more common dwarves in stone cairns. As a last resort, burial in loose dirt may suffice, but it is far from ideal. Dwarves that have achieved much in their lives are said to strengthen the stone, while those who bring shame to their families are said to weaken her. If the dwarf's body was defiled, as by the corruption of the darkspawn for example, this too is viewed as weakening the stone. The dwarves believe that when they return to the stone, they live in the stone as guiding spirits that watch over their descendants for all time. These are the ancestors. The words and deeds of the ancestors, as recorded by the Shaperit, serve as an example that informs how a dwarf should live. But the will of the ancestors is heard most prominently through the provings. These ritualized combats are fought to resolve disputes between noble houses, honor challenges, and simply to achieve glory. The dwarf that emerges victorious is said to have Valos Atreidum, the favor of the ancestors. Every once in a while, a dwarf will perform particularly notable feats that benefit the dwarven people as a whole. These dwarves may be declared Paragons, viewed as living ancestors that demonstrate the best a dwarf can be. Paragons found a new noble house when they are named, and are venerated above all other living dwarves. Though they hold no official authority, even kings will often bow to the wishes of a Paragon. The stone does not accept all dwarves into its embrace. Dwarves that have committed grave crimes are stripped of their status and made casteless. Their names and deeds are erased from the memories. They must tattoo their faces with identifying brands, and their children inherit their ignoble status. The casteless are rejected by the stone, for their weakness and faults would only weaken her. According to the stories dwarves use to scare their children, the worst offenders are doomed to wander remote tunnels for all time as ravenous rock wraiths. As with my proving video, this covers some things I have in other videos, but with a bit more focus. I hope you liked it. Have a great day.